Welcome back to the Life Tales, where we explore profound stories that touch the soul and guide us toward a better version. In a small, dusty village in India lived a young boy named Arjun, the son of a humble farmer, dreaming of greatness. Arjun possessed a burning passion for carpentry, wishing to transform rough timber into elegant chairs and tables that everyone would admire deeply. However, Arjun had a habit that held him back, and he loved the idea of being a carpenter more than the work itself. Every morning, instead of heading to the workshop, Arjun would stop at the local tea stall where the villagers gathered to gossip. He would loudly proclaim his grand plans, describing the magnificent furniture he intended to build, seeking validation from every person sitting there. The villagers, impressed by his eloquent words, would clap and praise him, calling him a future master before he even started. This praise gave Arjun a rush of satisfaction, tricking his brain into believing he had already achieved the hard work he described. Feeling satisfied by the empty validation, he would go home and rest, leaving the wood untouched, thinking he had done enough today. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, yet not a single chair or table was produced by the young dreamer's hands. The villagers eventually stopped clapping, and their admiration turning into whispers of doubt as they realized Arjun was all talk and no action. Arjun felt a deep hollowness inside, wondering why his motivation had vanished and why he could not bring himself to simply start. One day, he heard of an old master carpenter who lived on the outskirts of the village, known for his incredible skill. Desperate for answers, Arjun approached the old master's workshop, hoping to find the secret to regaining his lost drive and ambition. The master did not look up, continuing his work in profound silence, his hands moving with a rhythm that seemed like meditation. Arjun finally spoke, asking why he felt so accomplished when talking about his plans, yet so paralyzed when it came to execution. The old man paused, wiped his hands on his apron, and looked at the boy with eyes that held decades of wisdom. He reached out and picked up a simple peanut seed from a bowl on his bench, holding it up for Arjun to see. Yet he asked the boy to imagine this seed was his dream, his potential, and the goal he so desperately wanted to achieve. He said, "Imagine if you take this seed and place it on a high rock in the bright sun for everyone to see. You invite the village to admire the seed, telling them how big a plant it will become, and they all applaud you. But sitting on that rock, exposed to the heat and the noise, the seed will never grow. It will simply dry out and die." Arjun listened, his eyes widening as he realized the mistake he had been making with his own dreams all this time. The master continued, explaining that for a seed to grow, it needs to be buried deep in the soil, hidden from view. It requires darkness, silence, and the moisture of the earth to break open its shell and begin the process of transformation. In that darkness, where no one is clapping and no one is watching, the seed struggles, breaks, and finally sends out roots. Yet he told Arjun that his goals are like that seed. They need the silence of privacy to develop strong roots before showing up. When you speak too much, you expose your seed to the sun before it has roots, killing the potential before it starts. Arjun understood the lesson deeply. He thanked the master and made a silent vow to change his ways from that moment on. The next day, Arjun walked past the tea shop. His friends called out to him, but he simply smiled and kept moving. He entered his workshop and closed the door, embracing the silence and the solitude that he had previously tried to escape from. He began by cleaning the dusty floor and sharpening his rusty tools, preparing the environment for the hard work that lay ahead. He started sawing the timber. It was difficult, physical work that made his muscles ache and his body scream for a rest. His soft hands, unused to labor, quickly developed painful blisters. But this time, he did not run to the village to complain. He worked late into the night, the oil lamp his only companion, fighting the boredom and the urge to seek easy distraction. There were moments of frustration when the wood snapped or the joints didn't fit, and he wanted to give up completely. But in those moments, he remembered the seed in the dark soil, struggling against the earth to push its roots down deep. He picked himself up, accepted the failure as part of the growth process, and started again in the quiet of his workshop. Weeks turned into months, and while the village forgot about his big claims, Arjun was slowly becoming a different person inside. His hands grew tough and skilled. His movements became precise, and he learned to love the sound of the wood being shaped. Slowly, out of the silence and the struggle, a beautiful chair began to take shape, reflecting the dedication he had poured in. When he finished the first chair, he didn't run to show it off. He simply smiled and started working on a table. Yet he continued working in silence, filling his workshop with exquisite pieces, letting the quality of his work grow in the dark. One day, a villager passing by peered through the crack in the door and was astounded by the collection of masterpieces inside. He ran back to the tea shop, telling everyone that Arjun hadn't been lazy, but had been creating wonders in secret all along. The whole village gathered outside his door, not to hear him boast this time, but to see the truth with their eyes. Arjun opened the doors, and the sunlight flooded in, revealing the stunning craftsmanship that had been hidden in the dark for months. There was a moment of stunned silence as the villagers touched the smooth wood, realizing the depth of Arjun's silent dedication. In the back of the crowd, the old master stood smiling. He knew that the seed had finally broken through the soil. Arjun didn't need to say a single word. His work spoke louder, clearer, and more powerfully than any speech he ever gave. This story illustrates a powerful psychological truth. When you announce your goals prematurely, your brain rewards you with a false sense of completion. That warm feeling you get from praise releases dopamine, the pleasure chemical, making you feel like you've already crossed the finish line. This biological trick saps your motivation, leaving you with less drive to actually do the hard, gritty work that success requires. Real progress happens in the shadows, in the early mornings and late nights, when no one is watching or clapping for you. Whether you are building a business, writing a book, or changing your body, the process is often lonely, boring, and unglamorous. Just like the seed, you must protect your potential from the harsh light of judgment until you are strong enough to stand. Arjun learned that validation is a drug that kills ambition, while silence is the fertile soil where true mastery is grown. He taught them that the world doesn't need to know what you are going to do. It needs to see what you have done. In our modern world, we are tempted to post every idea and goal on social media, seeking instant likes and comments. But true strength lies in the ability to put the phone down, stay quiet, and let your results shock everyone later. Don't be like a firework that makes a loud noise for a second and vanishes. Be like a lighthouse that shines silently. The old master knew that the best revenge against doubt and the best answer to criticism is simply massive success. Arjun didn't stop at furniture. His silent work ethic led him to build structures that served the entire village for generations. His first chair remained a reminder, a symbol of the moment he chose the pain of discipline over the ease of talking. Ask yourself today, are you the person who talks about the mountain, or are you the person who climbs it silently? How many goals have you abandoned because you talked about them enough to feel satisfied, losing the hunger to complete them? I challenge you to try something different. Pick one major goal you have right now and commit to a 30-day silence challenge. For the next 30 days, tell absolutely no one about what you are doing. No posts, no announcements, no humble brags. Channel all that energy you would use to talk into the work itself. Let the pressure build up inside you. Use that internal pressure as fuel. When you want to tell someone, put that energy into doing just one more task. You will be amazed at how much you can achieve when you stop leaking your motivation through your mouth. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. It is the space where strategy is born and character is forged. Let the world underestimate you. Let them think you are doing nothing while you are building an empire in the dark. The lion does not roar when it stalks its prey, and it only roars after the hunt is successfully completed and won. Respect the process of growth. It is slow, it is quiet, and it is often invisible to the outside world. Your sweat should be the ink that writes your story, not your words. Let your blisters be your only badges of honor. You are the sculptor of your own life. Do not describe the statue to others. Simply chip away until it is revealed. The greatest reward is not the applause of the crowd, but the quiet knowledge that you created something of value. Embrace the loneliness of the long-distance runner. It is in those solitary moments that you find out who you truly are. Protect your dreams like a small flame in the wind. If you uncover it too soon, the winds of opinion will extinguish it. Years later, Arjun became the master carpenter, and he never forgot the lesson of the peanut seed on the hot rock. Yet he passed this wisdom down, creating a legacy not of loud promises, but of silent, enduring, and magnificent action. Even the universe works in silence. The planets orbit, the sun burns, and the galaxies spin without making a sound. So, what will you do when this video ends? Will you go and talk about it, or will you start working? Take a piece of paper, write down your goal, hide it away, and don't speak of it until it is done. Zip your lips, unzip your potential. The world is tired of noise. It is starving for results and excellence. Be like Arjun. Find your workshop, whatever that may be, and fall in love with the darkness of deep work. Silence, focus, action, success. This is the formula that has built civilizations and realized the wildest dreams of mankind. Every silent effort is a drop in the bucket. Eventually, the bucket overflows, and your success becomes undeniable to everyone. That peanut seed, once buried in the dark, yet is now a tree that provides shade and food for many others. Don't be afraid of the dark tunnel of hard work. Keep walking, keep working, and the light will eventually find you. Let your rhythm be the sound of your tools, the clicking of your keyboard, or the beating of your heart. There is no feeling in the world that compares to the quiet pride of knowing you built something with your own hands. Remember the golden rule. Work hard in silence, and let your success be the only noise that you ever make. Make your mark not by screaming your name, but by creating work so good that others cannot help but say it. As the sun sets on this story, let it rise on your new journey of silent, focused, and relentless action. Thank you for watching the Life Tales. If this story spoke to you, share it silently with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more stories that feed your soul. Until next time, stay silent, stay hungry, and let your success speak.